Home and BetBright Towers, we're talking about the World Cup 2018. I'm going to ask the panel alongside me, Peter, Dermot and Adam, who they think has stood out during the tournament player-wise. Who is their best player of the tournament so far? Of course, we're only just reaching the quarter-final stages. And who they think at this point will go all the way and lift the World Cup. So I'm going to start with Adam. Give us your rundown of your standout players so far.
Yeah, a couple that spring to mind immediately. The first one that comes to mind is Harry Kane. He's scored 6 goals so far. He's on course for the Golden Boot. I think the big part of his game that I hadn't really seen before was him as an actual full-on leader. There was a lot of talk before the World Cup about him being the captain, maybe not being the most vocal. But again, to use a cliche, he's really let his football do the talking. He's led by example. He's been absolutely immense. Another player who has really impressed me is the Russian midfielder Alexander Golovin. There's a lot of talk from getting a big move to either Arsenal or Chelsea at the minute. He looks really composed, doesn't stop running. In the Spain game, there was a moment towards the end of the game, it was an extra time, where he ran about 70 yards, busted a gut to get back just to chase Spain attack down the wing and put it out for a throw. Absolutely incredible to see for someone so young to have that kind of maturity about their game. I know Kylian Mbappe is currently top of the betting for the player of the tournament, the Golden Ball.
He is indeed, yeah. He's there at 7-2 favourite, just in front of Harry Kane at 4s.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't see it. I mean, he's an excellent footballer with all the potential in the world. He was absolutely incredible against Argentina, but didn't really do much in the group stage for me. So, I mean, if I was having a bet on who I see being the player of the tournament, as it stands, I'd be giving it to Harry Kane.
Temo?
Yeah, I think Luka Modric has been my player of the tournament. Obviously was part of that collective breakdown against Denmark in Croatia, but missed the penalty, stepped up then in the penalty shootouts. That's the hallmark to me of someone that's not only strong mentally, but is just a really, really strong person in general. To step up, and he pretty much took the penalty the exact same way as he did again and scored. If that game hadn't happened, I think he'd be at the top of the market. He destroyed Argentina. He's just been really, really good. And then, like other players, like Coutinho has been excellent, has been superb. He's been Brazil's best player. So this all comes back to who wins the World Cup. If France or Brazil, whoever wins it, their best player is going to win it. And if Croatia get to a final, I could see Modric getting. I think Modric is around 10-1 or so.
He is 10-1, yeah.
That's a cracking bet because I think they'll beat Russia. I'd fancy them to beat England, and then they're in a final. If Croatia get to a final, they are the story. Whoever gets to the final from the other side will be the story of the World Cup, regardless who wins it.
Okay, Peter?
Yeah, I think Kane and Modric, as you both said, are both up there, been both fantastic for their teams, kind of dragged them by hook or by crook into this stage of the tournament. I think we've got to give the big man Ronaldo I mentioned. I know obviously Portugal are out now, but he was absolutely superb while they're in the tournament. That performance against Spain alone, he's going to sort of go down in World Cup history for a long time now. People are going to be talking about that for a while. So I think Ronaldo, it's a shame, obviously, the Portugal side, who he was captaining, aren't sort of up to his level or anywhere near his level. It would have been nice to see how far they went with a strong Portuguese side. Obviously Kane and Modric, as I say, both very, very standout players. From an England perspective, and he's not got too much game time, but I've really enjoyed watching Rashford when he's come on. As I said previously, I'd love to see him come on even at half time, if not a lot sooner in the second half. And the way he took his penalty against Colombia just kind of epitomises him as a player for me. He looked very cool. You didn't know whether or not he was nervous, whether he was absolutely buzzing to take the penalty. And the way he slotted it just kind of summed him up as a player for me. So I'd love to see more of him as England hopefully progress. And again, Kieran Trippier as well for England. I think he's been outstanding. I think he's, other than Harry Kane, who's obviously been there and scored the goals, I think without Kieran Trippier in the England side, I think we would not be half the team we are. He's been absolutely brilliant for me.
I'm glad you mentioned the Berry Beckham. He's probably been the find of the tournament, certainly from an England perspective, because of the Kyle Walker situation, where now we're playing out of position to let Kieran Trippier, as an unheralded English player, go and do what he does on the right side of, well, midfield mostly, and I think that's a good shout. I'm going to ask you all at this point, with the betting in front of me, of course, who's going to win the World Cup 2018? Adam, you can go first.
Would you like a 3-word summary again? Or?
However you want. Just give us the winner of the World Cup.
I think Croatia probably represent a bit of value. I think they're around about 6-1 at the minute.
Yeah, 6-1.
But if you're asking me who the most likely winner is, considering I prefer backing winners than value losers, I'd back England.
Okay, England backer.
Oh, you're right.
Dermot.
Still wouldn't write off Germany.
Well, you can never write them off.
You can never write off the Germans.
Yeah.
No, I think Croatia, as Adam said, are value at 6-1, and I'd also have a sneaky feeling on Uruguay. I think they're on the tough side, but they're big odds for a team that will they won't fear Brazil at all. The last time they played Brazil, they beat them. If they get past France, which to be honest I fancy them to do so, I think Uruguay are big odds at
14-1.
14-1.
Yeah,
I think
if
they're
they
big
made a
odds.
final, I don't think, and like no final is easy, but you don't want to play Uruguay
You really
with
don't.
those two up
No.
front and the organisation they have 14-1.
If you thought Colombia were tough, they'll kick the legs off you
Yeah.
even harder. Go on.
I don't think I need to ask Pete, how much money are you going to put on England to win the World Cup here?
Not too much, a little bit. 4-1.
He hasn't eaten in 4 days.
Yeah, 4-1. I'll be having a little bit on England to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously I just prefer, well not prefer, I enjoy just cheering them on as a fan. And kind of getting World Cup fever in terms of supporting them as an England fan. From a betting perspective, it's got to be Brazil for me. As Adam said, I'd rather be backing short price favourites than value losers. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Brazil.
So 11-4, I think.
Yeah,
Brazil
11-4,
with the class
yeah.
in their side. I can see them going all the way.
Okay, well, the betting on the World Cup: Brazil 11-4 favourites, France are 7-2, England are 4-1, Belgium 6-1, Croatia at 6s, Uruguay 14s. The two outsiders, Russia and Sweden, 20s and 22-1 respectively. Let's enjoy the remaining games of a brilliant World Cup so far.